because you're broken. You drink because drinking is your easiest, most familiar path. And it's not just one path either. There's the macro thinking here and the micro. So with the macro, it's your overall direction in life. The micro, that's your job, your relationships, your emotional habits, your inner dialogue. Both of those, macro and micro, have paths of least resistance, which you are either aware of or you're not, depending on your levels of consciousness and where you are on the journey of positive disintegration. Beautiful. Why do we keep doing the same shit even when we know it's ruining us? Why do we walk to the pub after work knowing we'll hate ourselves by midnight? Why do we pick the fight, skip the gym, pour the drink? Because it's easy, because it's familiar, because it's a path of least resistance. And if you don't learn how to change that path, it will own you for life. Welcome to the 1000 Days Sober podcast. My name is Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone who lives a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, and I spend every waking moment of that life helping other people do the same, like right now. Today's episode is part of our weekly dive. We just have a drink of tea into one of the frameworks we teach in the Strive method. A powerful 6-month experience designed to help you live a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck. And today we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most foundational and overlooked principles in human behavior, the path of least resistance. Now, this concept comes straight from Robert Fritz's great book, The Path of Least Resistance. And I'll tell you right now, when I read it, it changed everything for me. And if you're still drinking, you're still stuck, you're still relapsing or afraid to stop, it is already running your life. Here's what Fritz teaches. Energy, whether it's water, wind, or willpower, always follows the easiest route available. And so do we as human beings. You don't drink because you're broken. You drink because drinking is your easiest, most familiar path. And it's not just one path either. There's the macro thinking here and the micro. So with the macro, it's your overall direction in life. The micro, that's your job, your relationships, your emotional habits, your inner dialogue. Both of those, macro and micro, have paths of least resistance, which you are either aware of or you're not, depending on your levels of consciousness and where you are on the journey of positive disintegration. Now, when I was drinking alcohol on a daily basis, that was the glue that held everything together. So the idea of not drinking, that wasn't just difficult, it was completely and utterly unknown. So my system, my internal family system of different parts of my personality, were terrified of stepping off the familiar trail. Even if that trail leads through misery, shame, and puking in a bucket, at least I knew that feeling, that sensation, that experience. That is what the path of least resistance looks like. It's the worn down sheep trail on the hillside. It's the GPS route your nervous system takes by default. It's the reflex that says, fuck it, I'll just have one. And it's not always external. Sometimes the bar and the pub is the path, but sometimes it's the inner dialogue saying things like, I don't know where the gym is. I don't want to look stupid. I'll go tomorrow. And that's what happened to me just last week. A friend here in Riga asked me to hit the gym with him. Instantly, my parts kicked in with fear-based chatter. Where is it? How do I get there? What if I feel embarrassed if I don't know how to use the equipment? And just like that, my system found its old path. And I said to him, no thanks, mate, not today. Now we're going to take a short break. And while I do that and have another drink of tea, I want you to have a think about this. What's your path of least resistance right now? Not yesterday, not the story you tell yourself, but right now. What is the path your energy is already following? And is it taking you closer or further from a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck? Let that land. We'll take a break and I'll be right back. Welcome back to the 1000 Days Sober podcast. We are talking today about the Strive method and a workshop in the stuck phase called the Path of Least Resistance. Now, here's the truth that most people miss, right? The path of least resistance is not fixed, okay? It is created by structures in your life, internal structures and external structures, your beliefs, your stories, culture, your environment. If you've been programmed to believe that drinking is nice, normal, necessary, and noble, right, and natural, then of course that becomes the easiest path. And we call that the liquid lie. But here's the magic. You can change the path. And the way to do that is to embrace the tension. And the tension is the space between where you are and where you want to be, between drinking every night and waking up proud as fuck because all you drank yesterday was water, between living from parts and living from self. And it feels uncomfortable. It really does. It's scary as fuck, but it also holds excitement and possibility. When I decided to become alcohol free as fuck, not because I had to, but because I wanted to, I felt that rush. I was like, I don't know, like standing on the edge of a cliff, knowing I was about to fly. And this is what we teach in the Strive method, how to feel the tension and walk a new path, how to allow me as the guide and the Strive method to pull you towards that new path, not rebound you right back to your old one. And we do that one micro decision at a time. Titration is really important. Say yes to the gym. Say no to the drink. Say, I'll try instead of I can't. Until one day, your new path becomes the easiest one because it's yours. Today's daily vow. Today, I will not drink. Instead, I will notice when I'm following the path of least resistance and I will choose a new step, even if it's just one. The path of least resistance got you here, but it won't set you free. And you were made for more than autopilot. You were made to carve trails, not just follow them. Some reflections for today. Take a moment and ask yourself, where in my life is the path of least resistance keeping me stuck? When was the last time I felt that creative tension? And what did I do with it? Share your answers wherever you're listening. Comment, post, or message me directly. Strivers reflect always. Okay, that's all I have time for you today. Friday here in Riga, the sun is shining outside. I'm just about to go and do some more TV work. We are recording the Triton Million high stakes poker tournament. So we're recording that out here today and having a lot of fun. If this episode stirred anything in you, don't just sit with it, right? Like if you're like, whoa, I want to learn more about the path of least resistance, head over to www.thestrivemethod.com and sign up on the waiting list to learn more about the Strive method. Rate and review this show, send it to somebody, subscribe, and most importantly, today, choose to get off that path. Just step off it for a little bit. When your inner child tells you that you need to drink today, just step off the path a little bit and say, I'm not doing it. Have confidence and faith inside of you that you've got this, because I know you have. All right, much love and strive on.